So an emergency contingency plan has been activated, okay? And this is going to change everything. This is going to change every country on earth. This is going to affect the whole globe, okay? This is going to affect financial markets. Once people start realizing what's really happening, it's going to draw lines in the sand, okay? People are going to have to choose which side are you on, which market do you want to be a part of, because the world's being split in a couple different directions right now, especially the economies and the financial systems of the world. They're being split up, okay? We used to live in this globalized society, which has tons of problems as well, but now we are quickly seeing that come to an end, and it's not going to be pretty, right? So what's happening is JP Morgan Chase Bank, the biggest bank in the United States, is essentially pulling out of China as well. They have activated their emergency contingency plans because their risk is so high in China that they can no longer get insurance. All right, so insurers are pulling out of China like mad right now, okay? Their cost to do business in China has gone up 60% just in the last year, it was saying. And it's expected to go up even higher. Okay, so once insurers pull out, then banks can no longer get insurance for their investments. They can't get insurance for their mortgages. They can't get insurance for their every single thing, every service that they provide. Think about it. If you have an FHA mortgage, it's backed up by mortgage insurance. You know, every major asset is tied to some kind of insurance. But if banks can't get that in China, which is what's happening right now, they are going to pull out. So JP Morgan Chase is also wanting to pull out of China. And I know I've been talking about this recently. I was talking about, and sorry, my voice is kind of hoarse. I have not been feeling great. But I was talking about Citibank, the third biggest bank in the United States, is pulling out of China as well and focusing on India now. And it didn't say exactly the reasoning, but it's probably very similar reasoning. JP Morgan is giving this reason for it, and they're saying they're activating their emergency contingency plans. All right. So what's going on in China? What are all these banks and companies? Apple has pulled out of China as well. All right. Apple. I never thought I would see Apple pull out of China, but they are no longer making the iPhone in China. The next iPhone, I think it's iPhone 14, whatever, it's hard to keep up, will be made in India. It will not be made in China, all right? And Apple had to give up the master keys to every iPhone in China to do business there. So this is huge. What do they know that we don't know? We've been talking about this potential coup in China, and the president of China has come out in public in the last 24 hours. He has been seen. So he is not under house arrest technically, but we still don't know what's happening in Beijing. Okay, there was still a ton of delayed flight traffic, lowered flight traffic. It was like 60% lower flight traffic over Beijing, and you could see it too. Seoul, South Korea was packed, and Shanghai was packed, tons of traffic, tons of flight traffic, and then Beijing was totally pretty much dark, okay? And high-speed rail systems were shut off into Beijing. That was confirmed. And it was confirmed that there was military convoys going into it. So what was happening? What was really going on? Was there some kind of bank situation? Maybe that was happening, because maybe there's a power struggle right now behind the scene, because China brought out military tanks for a province just a few months ago for people having bank protests because there was billions of dollars of their money locked up in these banks, and they were refusing to give people the money. All right. How long before this happens in the United States? All right. How long before this happens? I hope it doesn't happen, but you know, we're kind of backing ourselves into a corner, okay? Everything that's happened the last 2 years is just been, it's been devastating, and we just keep doubling down. We keep getting further into the you-know-what, into the crap, right? So what do we need to do? What do we need to change to not have this happen, all right? Because we are already looking at the United States is talking about implementing sanctions on China as well, okay? Sanctions on China. So that would escalate for a tit for tat, okay? They would put sanctions on us. They could cut the supply chain back even more than they've done with lockdowns, all right? They could do essentially anything. They have our whole economy in their hands with the supply chain, because we've become so dependent on all their stuff, right? And that's why Taiwan is critical, because these chips are so important, right? And if China has control of the chips too, they pretty much have it all. They pretty much have it on lock. Okay, I made a story a few weeks ago how there was over 150 nuclear scientists from the United States that went to China, and China was paying them like millions of dollars, paying them $10 million to come to China and work for them, right? This is huge. China also has, you can go look up anything I'm saying, all right? Anything I'm saying is completely true. Go look this up. China has underground nuclear testing facilities, underground tunnels, okay? They have hundreds of miles of tunnels potentially that we know of, okay? Because we can tell when they're kind of building them sometimes, and we can kind of tell when there's weird seismic activity. It looks like a earthquake or something, but it's not. Underground in China. But they have potentially hundreds of miles of underground tunnels where they do nuclear tests, okay? And China's not a part of any nuclear arms agreement. They're not a part of any world, because, you know, we've signed treaties with all these other countries to like limit our nuclear capacity, and other countries have disarmed themselves, but China's not a part of any treaty. We do not know exactly what they have. And if they team up with Russia, this could be a big scenario, all right? I was warning a U.S. Navy, or the head of STRATCOM, all right, Strategic Command. Sorry, not a U.S. Navy. He's the commander of U.S. Strategic Command, was warning that we've never faced enemies like Russia and China before, because their capabilities are pretty much on par with us. Not in every single field, you know, we have like mixes and matches, but just the nuclear capability and the capability to essentially be anywhere at any time in the world. They can activate this kind of, he said, quote, violence, okay, is pretty extreme, all right? We've never faced this. This is way worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis or anything like that, all right? And I wasn't alive for that, but from my perspective, this seems a lot worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis, all right? Because this is high tech, all right? We could face tactical nukes, right? Russia has underwater drones that sit at the bottom of the ocean waiting to be activated with nuclear weapons, okay? There's just so many more new things that were not available back then, okay? And China was not even on the radar at all. China was nothing burger, whatever they say back then. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you hit that sub and the bell if you guys really like this prepper news and staying updated. I'm trying to get you guys these topics out, you know, ASAP. So hit the bell if you guys really like this kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and you have a blessed day.